Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Fights with Friends. Hello, friends. Today we're going to be talking about the payoffs for Bellator 192. Total disclosed payroll kind of seems in line for where Bellator is successfully. 1.2 million views. Their total paid disclosed was 1.1 million, a little over 1.1 million for the event. Chael Sonnen and Quentin Jackson each got $300,000. Sounds good, right? Rory McDonald, Douglas Lima, $100,000 apiece. Michael Chandler, a little weird to me. Seems like maybe he should have got a little more no win bonus. $50,000. Cody Yamuchi got $23,000. Aaron Pico actually got paid more than Michael Chandler, which seems pretty ridiculous to me. Shane Cruckton, got $10,000 in a losing effort. Henry Corrales did pretty good. Wow, his pay is really incentivized by his win bonus, though. Usually I've seen win bonuses are the same as your salary, so his is a $10,000 flat pay, I guess, and then a $30,000 win bonus. So he must have negotiated something with that. Then you get down to some of these guys, what they're actually getting paid. Go down to Devin Brock. He got $2,000. Luckily, he was good enough to beat Conor Gracie in what was a disappointing, boring match, but he won the match. That $2,000 includes his $1,000 win bonus. So they were going to pay Devin Brock for, his 6-week, 3-month training camp, whatever it is, all of his equipment, all of his trainers, food to get ready for this and everything, $1,000. Honestly, I find that kind of disgusting. Ian Butler received $1,500. Chris Padilla, $2,000. Andrew Lazo, $1,500. James Barnes, $2,250. Tommy Aaron, $2,000. Roosevelt Roberts would have only gotten $1,500 if not for the win. $1,500 here, $1,500. I just don't find that acceptable. $1,000 to $2,000 for putting your life on the line for their organization when they know they have training camp to pay for. This is obviously before taxes. This is before insurance. This is before all expenses. They're obviously going in the hole greatly to perform for Bellator and help them put their show on. The argument can be made that, people are really going, they really want to see Chael Sonnen and Quentin Jackson. They really want to see Rory McDonald and Douglas Lima and Michael Chandler and Aaron Pico. Yes, that argument can be made. But where do you get the next Michael Chandler? Where do you find the next Douglas Lima? These guys that Bellator have built up. If you don't pay them enough, obviously they're working another job or they'd be starving to death, but you're not even paying them enough to train. This is not even enough for equipment and coaching, much less anything else. Of course, they don't, have a full-time coach. They're probably going into some ratty gym with 1,000 fighters, or they were lucky enough to join a good team that is helping them out and kind of almost giving a little charity to them. A lot of people are going to say, though, like I said, Chael Sonnen and Quentin Jackson, these are the guys that are making the money, and these guys are fighting on the card because it's an investment in their future. Well, what is Bellator investing in Devin Brock's future? $1,000. They didn't expect him to beat Conor Gracie. They expected him to go home with $1,000. And like some of these other guys that go home with $1,500. Even with $2,000. Like I said, that doesn't even pay his expenses. How are you going to build up Devin Brock, Ian Butler, Chris Padilla, Andrew Lazo? These guys, how are you going to build them up to be the next Michael Chandler the next Douglas Lima, even the next Aaron Pico, if you don't pay them enough to even get sufficient training. And you're talking about 6 weeks to a 3-month training camp. Honestly, to pay a fighter, the Devin Brock here, $1,000 to risk their life, and for this whole training camp, probably get $700 after taxes, $750, and some of these other guys, $1,500. I find it disgusting. If Bellator wants to create future champions, they need to invest in these champions. I don't think it's acceptable to pay any less than $5,000 for any fighter that goes into the cage, because you're not paying for their training and stuff. And then the UFC, I love the fact that the UFC has this new, huge training center. Any fighter can go anytime. I don't know what Bellator has as far as helping their fighters train, but I know they don't have anything like that. If you're going to invest in these guys, you need to invest in a training center so they're not paying everything that they get in salary, towards their training. And obviously these guys are paying more, or they're not going to be successful. They're never going to be successful. And they're not going to have the homegrown fighters that they want to have. And I don't know if their plan are to get some from feeder leagues, kind of like the UFC does, but the UFC doesn't pay like this. I mean, the UFC, I've gotten on them for not paying fighters enough, but they all get the Reebok bonus. Granted, for some fighters, it's not a lot. I think it's like $1,500, but that's more than Devin Brock's entire salary if he lost like they thought he was going to. Minimum salary in the UFC, I believe, is $8,000. It was $6,000 about a year ago. I believe it's raised up to $8,000. I know that nobody for years has made less than $6,000. And I think Bellator, at least go to $4,000. Go to $4,000 and then train your fighters. Feed your fighters. Have the supplements, have a training institute where you have the supplements, you have the weight training, you have coaches, you have, machines and things for them to measure their heart rate, their weight cuts, things like this. There's just so much that goes into fighting outside of before you get into the cage and risk your life for $1,000. So Bellator, get your act together, in my opinion. I want to know what you guys think about this, though. I'm going to pass the question off to you. Am I out of line? Or are these guys just lucky to get the shot in the spotlight, to be on what was Spike and now is Paramount channel, and that the top bonuses should just go to the very top guys? Or do you think that they need to give these guys a little more? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please fix that now. Please hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys on Thursday for MMA Live at 5. That is 5 o'clock Pacific time. Don't forget, because it's live and you're going to miss it. So be there at 5 p.m. on Thursday. I will see you guys then. Have a great night.